I'm Dr. Jesse Scholes, physical therapist. I work in McWanago, Wisconsin. Today I'm going to be posting another video about neck strengthening for the neck muscles. I have another video that's out there right now that I really like. I think it's a good way to do the neck strengthening. Every routine does have some drawbacks, so this is to address some of those, such as equipment or the fact that the neck strengthening exercise part 2 video that I have is not in a very functional position because it's lying down for a few minutes. So basically what this video is going to be showing is how to strengthen the different muscles of the neck to help with neck problems. If you haven't already been told by an experienced medical professional, whether it be a medical doctor, physical therapist, chiropractor, or acupuncturist, that you should do these exercises, I would encourage you not to. Realize that there's 4 different exercises that we're going to be doing: neck flexion strengthening, neck side bending strengthening, neck rotation strengthening, and also neck extension strengthening. It's important for most people to have, well, it's important for all people to have good strength in all these muscle groups. Whether you need to do one of these or all of these exercises is going to be up to the person that's kind of turning you on to this sort of exercise routine. But I'm going to be showing you a few things that I've found for myself with experience, little tips, so to speak, with these exercises that'll help them go easier for you. As with any exercise, if you're having any pain with this, I would not recommend you to be doing these, or maybe ask an experienced professional for some guidance if you need to be modifying these exercises. So, neck flexion is probably one of the most important neck exercises to be doing. Neck flexion, basically bringing your head down like this. Now, it's important for me to note there's a lot of wrong ways to do this one. First off, you can bring your head forward and down. That'll use the wrong muscle groups. You can also bring your head down too far, where your chin is below your sternal notch. Your sternal notch is this little groove here at the top part of your manubrium, or basically at the top end of your breastbone. And if your chin touches down below or at this point, you're probably doing it a little bit too far. So the sweet spot for where your chin should end when you're doing this exercise is somewhere between your mid windpipe or your trachea, where the Adam's apple is in a man, and between your sternum notch at that point. So kind of somewhere between my 2 fingers is where I want my chin to be ending with this exercise. Now, I appreciate for a lot of people that this looks a little bit weird, and it is weird. That's why I didn't make this video first, because you have to be using both hands for this. However, when you are using both hands, both elbows come up when you're doing these. The really cool thing is your whole upper thoracic area and your lower neck opens up. You can actually move some of these areas a little bit better, and the muscles function a little bit better. So for doing neck flexion strengthening, I'm going to do about 10 of these. I'll do 10 of them total, 5 facing the camera, 5 facing away, so you can see from different angles. I'm going to put the heels of my hands on my eyebrows, and I'm going to bring my chin down first, and then kind of round everything down. I'm going to be keeping my pressure very consistent on my eyebrows, about moderate pressure at the most, as I bring my head down, and then as I slowly release back to this middle position. And 4 more. Good. Remember, don't do this, and don't go down too far. Now, from the side, this might be a little bit more valuable. I'll try to keep my right arm out of the way. Actually, I'll just use my left arm, so my right arm will definitely not be in the way. As with any neck exercise or any exercise, make sure you breathe continuously as you do this. Now, we're going to do side bending next, and that's this motion here, side to side. Only go as far as you can comfortably. Try to move as far as you can though. The side that I'm going to be pushing with first will be my right. I'm going to put that against kind of my right temple area right in here. And I'm going to keep my pressure consistent this way, no matter what my head position. I'm going to bring my head over, and I'm going to go all the way over to the other side. I'm always pushing with my right arm though. Notice how my right elbow is always up. By keeping your elbow up, you'll be opening up things more in your neck and in your upper thoracic or your upper back area. Now, I will do it from the side, still with my right arm, so I'll face this way. And you should hopefully see that I don't do this, and I don't scrunch my neck as I'm doing this. It should be pure side-to-side motion. If you cannot do this with pure side-to-side motion, you might be pushing too hard with your arm. Of course, repeat on both sides, as with the rotation that I'll be showing you next. Now, with the rotation, same thing. You're going to be putting your hand on the same area by your temple. You're going to be pushing as far as you can over one way, keeping the pressure consistent as you push all the way back over the other shoulder. Going as far as you can without pain. You may have some clicking and popping in your neck as you're doing these. More often than not, the clicking and popping will actually get better with time as you do these. From the side again, I'm going to show you the same arm that I was using. Keeping my neck tall as with all these exercises. Keeping my elbow up as I do these. It's easy to forget about that. I did for a moment myself. Good. Now, so we did neck flexion, we did side bending, we did rotation, and now the last one, extension. For extension, what you're basically going to be doing is going from your head down to straight up like this. Now, for some people, some professionals recommend you go into hyperextension, like this. There's been a number of research reports that look at that, but none of which have looked at the long-term consequences of doing that. So, with that said, I tend to follow the rules of kind of better safe than sorry with this. And I only encourage people to go from a position of slight flexion to slight hyperextension of the neck. Slight looking up, in other words. Now, with that said, it's important to make sure that your neck is moving through the entire neck. From the side, you'll be able to see this better. If I go like this, hopefully you can see I'm moving from my lower neck. If I move like this, I'm only moving from my upper neck. So when you apply pressure here, when you move, you want to be moving through the entire neck. Now, interestingly enough, when I moved from my lower neck, that was painful. I do have some lower neck issues. When I moved from my upper neck by itself, that was uncomfortable. When I moved with both parts of my neck at the same time without any resistance, it actually felt okay. So for me, with having somewhat of a touchy neck, not only are these exercises that I do, but they're exercises I can feel the difference between doing them the right way and the wrong way. So from the front, I'm going to use both hands. Hands on the back of my head, bringing my chin down a little bit, letting my lower neck bend forward, then coming back with my entire body, including my neck a little bit. Now, I'll show you from the side. I'll only be using my left arm, so my right arm won't block the view. If you only use one arm for whatever reason, for any of these exercises, make sure that you don't apply pressure in an odd way because of you're only using one arm with any of these exercises. Because if I only use one arm but put my hand more in my head like this, or like this, when I'm pushing back, it's going to change how those muscles activate. You have to put your hand right in the middle of the back of your head and try to apply pressure evenly. With rotation, this should not be a problem. But if you can't use your right arm, or if you don't have a right arm because it's been amputated for whatever reason, you'll have to be careful when you're doing this with the other arm, because you can see how as I'm twisting this way, my arm is tight back here, and it kind of pulls my whole head down like this. So you have to make sure you're symmetrical as you do these as well. But from the side for the extension, looking down and up, down and up. Any of these exercises, if you're going to perform them, I would recommend 2 to 3 days per week. 3 sets per exercise per direction. 10 to 15 repetitions. If you've been told you have a very thin neck and you need to build up some muscle bulk, I would recommend doing more than 15 repetitions, maybe up to about 50, from somewhere between 20 and 50, because you'll get more muscle atrophy when you do more repetitions. But I hope this video was helpful for you. Sorry it got a little bit long, but I feel that this was thorough, and hopefully you shouldn't have too many questions. Take care.